Right now, the question queue looks like Owen Buchanan, Jennifer Streeter, Pranav, Travis, Mike Lucas, Tyler Shaw, Sam Kahn, Zach Taylor. Howdy, Coach Fisher. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
I don't have any sound.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Matt, I can't hear.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. A lot of people are like,
you can hear me.
Brad, it's on your end.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right.
Coach, you want to start with an opening statement?
Yes. First of all, I want to say congratulations to North Carolina on a great season and a heck of a football game. They got a great team. Mac is a heck of a football coach. They were coached very well, guys. That mean they gave us all we wanted and more. Did a great job on their defense, mixing things up, and with the blitzes and the things they did offensively, they did a great job. With those guys out, they still played their tails off. Their offensive line did a heck of a job, and their backs and their quarterback, receivers, Mac, they did a heck of a job. And I just want to say a thank you to those guys for what they played. I know they're disappointed, but man, that was a heck of a football game. I have a lot of respect for those guys. But I got a lot of respect for that team in the locker room in there right now. There's a lot of guts in there. There's a lot of toughness. There's a lot of competitiveness. Guys overcame, didn't look good at times, played sloppy at times, did things all three phases, we had our moments of not doing it. But every time something happened, we were able to step up. The competitive nature of these guys of raising your game and be able to make plays when they matter, leading us down the field, making catches and throws. Listen, Kellen was outstanding in the game. That was a frustrating game, more pressure. We had different things going on. Didn't turn the ball over, made the big plays, the big drives when we had to. Then, of course, a chain making his plays, Anais Smith, all the receivers blocking the O-line. They gave us some problems early, but in the end of the game, when we had to make it, they did. Our defense got the stops they did, got a big turnover in the first that set up a touchdown. Our special teams did a nice job in the game. They busted a punt on us once, and we overcame that. I mean, everything, we just kept coming back. But I'm so proud of this team and what it accomplished and what it did. And the seniors in this, I want to say a special thank you to. I know that the guys, I didn't always recruit those seniors they got here, but they gave me their hearts, they gave me their souls, everything in which they bought into everything we did. We had some good years, but not where we wanted to go, and still not quite where we want to go. We're not done yet. But, this senior group put us in a heck of a position to know how to work and put us and how to pass that on to the next generation of how we need to play and what we need to do. And special thank you to them. But just very proud of this team. It's a heck of a team, heck of a year for this university, and so happy for the 12th man and the fans. Questions?
All right, let's go to Owen Buchanan from TexAgs.com.
Hi, Jimbo. Congratulations on the win, first of all. Secondly, a couple things. What was your decision to go with all the way with Devon at the in the third quarter? Was Isaiah hurt at all, or did you just feel like it was?
He had a little issue. They would have a little banged up, and we put him in. And man, he hit it really hard and really good for 2 or 3 times. And we say, let's just keep him in. And Isaiah, there's no reason to hurt him. He's doing pretty good. So we kept it going, and he did one heck of a job.
And just that first touchdown run, were you anticipating that was going to be something that could become a big play, or do you just expect everything that he does to potentially be a big play?
We put hats on hats. Our ball carriers all have the chance to get to the end zone. They're that talented, and we did a great job blocking the play. He made it, but then the balance and the things he did to keep his balance, and he saw the explosion and all the ability he has, and he's got a chance to be a very special player.
Are you going to have some problems in the future deciding how to work in all those running backs?
I'll take care of that. That's a good problem, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, let's move to Jennifer Streeter from the Battalion.
Hey, Coach, kind of to start you off on a humorous note, I was wondering if you could kind of touch on your explosive speed and avoiding that grade back.
Well, if you saw me 30 pounds ago, I really had some explosive speed. That was out of necessity, not wanting to get wet. But I say I'm not very good for a long time, but I am good for one time.
Okay, and then kind of on an unrelated note, I was wondering if you could touch on how you think the results of this bowl game kind of sets a tone and a precedent for moving forward and what y'all are expected of in the future for A&M football.
Well, first and foremost, I think understanding how to play on the big stage. You have to be able to go to these games, understand everything that went with it, understand everything that happens with it, and the pressures with it, the anxieties with it, the preparation for it, and then to perform when you have to perform and do what you have to do to get it done. And that's all a learning curve. People don't understand. You think you just line up and play any game. This is a different stage. This is a different environment. It's a different atmosphere, and you have to learn that. And I think hopefully, our seniors laid that groundwork, and our young guys will remember, and now they'll pass it on.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next up, we'll go to Pranav.
Coach, how instrumental were Anaya Smith and Isaiah Spiller in today's game?
Isn't it great? Listen, Anias had the catches, the blocks. That guy does everything. He could sell popcorn at halftime. He played fullback in the game. He led us on ISOs. I mean, he caught punts. He had 125 yards receiving. He runs the ball. I mean, he does everything. Spiller is just a worker. He's been a 1,000-yard back, one of the best backs in all of the SEC. He's only a sophomore. I mean, just a tremendous future and a tremendous football player. And those guys they're a big part of it and huge part of our backbone.
Coach, also, you guys are so close to the playoff. How close do you think this roster is to the playoff next year?
Well, I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I thought it was in. But they made a great choice. We're happy anyone's going to do what we need to do. And we're right there knocking on the door. We got to do a little bit better, obviously. So we got to go back to work and do that.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Travis Brown from the Bryan College Station Eagle.
Hey, Coach, I know a lot can be said about Achain and what he did, but how important was it for the offensive line to kind of make a little bit of a turnaround there in the fourth quarter and the holes that they were opening up for him after maybe a little bit of a slow start?
Trying to put your will upon somebody's hard. But let me tell you something. Those guys up front, for us, they keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. They had some tough moments. We got knocked back on the goal line a couple times, which we haven't had happen. We had some other things happen, some pressures that we haven't had. We had 3 sacks. We had 4 all year. I mean, to give them credit, they had a very good team and very good plan. But the one thing about these guys, there's no quit in them. There's character, there's toughness, and that's where that line, being able to get back in those last few minutes of the game and be able to take it over.
Does the campaign start now to try to get maybe a few of those guys back with that super senior year?
Well, yeah, we have to look. I think that everyone has to look and see what's your projection, where you're at, and make the right decision for yourself. I mean, and we'll work on that with them and try to help them make the best choice for them, whatever's best for their future. Not just to get them. If it needs to go, they go. If not, I want to do what's best for our young men.
Thanks, Coach. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, let's move to Mike Lucas from KAGS.
Hey, Coach, when this season started, did you ever imagine this level of success for this group?
Yes. If you can't see it, it's not going to happen. I'm not saying, you got to see it. Now, I knew it was a lot of hard work and a lot of what we got to do. I'm not saying I knew it was going to happen, but I could see it there. The potential was there. And I always say that you either live in vision or you live in circumstance. We try to live in vision, you guys. And if you can't see things in the future and put yourself there and know what it takes to get there and understand the kind of talent you have to have, which I think we do, you're never going to get there. And we kept painting that picture, and those kids believed it and they saw it and they went and did it.
And when you're in a game of this magnitude, it's one thing to, picture yourself there, but winning it and actually feeling the feeling of victory after a game like this, how much of a building block for this program can a win like this be?
Well, it is, because listen, there's moments in that game. I'm sure guys say, man, I don't know if we can do this. And that's what happens when you play these games. There's a moment, can I do this? Is this going to happen? Is this really going to happen? You know what you say? Yes, don't worry about it. Play the next play and make it happen. And there's a learning curve to that. In life, you do it. You get worried, man, is this really going to happen? Can I do this? Can I do this? Life's like that every day. And they achieved, they persevered, they played the next play, they put everything behind them. Like I said, when they got tired and we're behind, doesn't matter what else happened the rest of the game. What happens from here on out? And they handled that and did it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Next up is Tyler Shaw from KBTX.
Hey, Jimbo, what seemed to change there defensively in the fourth quarter after they had that 75-yard touchdown run to take the lead? You shut them out the rest of the way, and they seemed pretty frustrated.
Yeah, we did. We made the plays. It got tough. We started playing up front. We started filling the gaps, started fitting things. And there's an urgency. The game's on the line. Even though, listen, they're a good team. They're on scholarship too. They're going to make plays. But what you got to say, okay, that's all water under the bridge. Let me play the next play. Let me do what I got to do. And there's an urgency and a caring and a gut-wrenching ability to raise your game to the next level to do your job, no matter how you feel. That's what great teams do. That's what competitive teams do. And that's what they did.
And do you see any similarities between this year and your third year at Florida State?
I knew that was coming.
Just the way the program.
Yeah, I mean, we won the Orange Bowl our third year. I'll take the fourth year just like it was there too, I promise. But, that doesn't happen without a lot of work. It doesn't happen a lot of circumstance. And is the ability and the vision there? Yes, and that's our plan. That's what we want to do. But now we got to go back to work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Sam Kahn from ESPN.com.
Jimbo, when you look back at not just his performance this year, but over the last 3 years, how important has Kellen Mond been to the success of this program? And if this is his last game for him, how do you think he should be remembered at Texas A&M?
One of the great quarterbacks in Texas A&M history. A guy who persevered through a lot of things, overcame a lot of things. willed his team. I mean, his work ethic in practice, his preparation, the things he did, the example he set, the ups and downs, and people saw him have good games, had some tough games. You know, even this year he had one tough game and had some other tough games in other years. Never hang his head, come back to work each and every day. And he's a role model for these kids about how to persevere, because nothing's ever going to be perfect. And you're going to have the ups and downs to go through it. And let me tell you something, he is a tremendous human being. I love him to death, but more importantly, I respect him to death for what he goes through, how he goes about his business, and what he stands for, and how much he loves A&M and what he was able to accomplish for A&M.
Let's go to Zach Taylor from WTOW and then Chuck Carlton.
Yeah, Jimbo, and talking about another one of your big senior players on the defensive side of the ball, for Buddy Johnson.
Yep.
I mean, what has he meant to this team and your defense?
He was a glue. He's a guy who makes the calls. He's a guy that keeps them together. He's a guy who talk to the coaches, do things right, get things right. When things would go, we talk to him. He'd go talk to the players. I mean, Buddy is a true leader, a true great. I mean, turned in one heck of a senior year, and I mean, did everything for a great football team here, and one of the great players in A&M linebackers in A&M history.
Thanks.
We're running out of time, so we're going to have to wrap it up with Chuck Carlton from Dallas Morning News.
Yes, Jimbo. 24-7 in the fourth quarter, and North Carolina had been a fourth quarter team too all season long. But what's it say about you guys that not only in this game, but down the stretch, you guys just owned the fourth quarter?
Well, that's not, and you can say, I told this, our kids work hard. They play hard. It matters to them. They care. You don't put that much work in and then give it up. You learn to raise your game in the fourth quarter, and you don't win because you want to. You win because you practice and prepared to. And we practice them hard. We put them in those situations each every day, and we demand excellence out of them. But I can demand it all I want. They got to get it out of themselves. My utmost respect for our players. They rose their game. They did what they had to do in every fourth quarter all year, and they take a lot of pride in that.
All right, Coach, that's all we got for you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Good job.
Have a great New Year.
All right, Marvin Leal is next. If you have questions